Another big story coming out of the Bob Chapek, Bob Iger saga and the Disney return to Iger era is that an executive coup may have led to the fall of Bob Chapek as Disney CEO. New York Post reports that discontent over Walt Disney's former CEO Bob Chapek has been festering among top executives, and the exec was described as tone-deaf in a recent conference call. Disney CFO Christine McCarthy told investors she lacked confidence in Chapek after a November 8th conference call about the company's worse-than-expected quarterly loss of $1.5 billion, linked to its Disney Plus streaming service, the Wall Street Journal reported. By Friday of the following week, Disney execs were seeing if Iger would return to his old job of 15 years in order to replace Chapek, the paper reported. Chairperson of Disney's board, Susan Arnold, called Iger up and asked if he'd consider coming back to run the Mouse House once again. People with inside knowledge told the Journal. Intense negotiations among parties unfolded over the weekend, and by Sunday night, the surprise announcement that Chapek had stepped down and Iger was reclaiming the helm hit the papers. Wall Street Journal also reported that, allegedly, Chapek was cooking the books when it came to streaming, as Disney was moving some shows that were supposed to be Disney Plus originals and air them first on other networks, including the Disney Channel, people familiar with the matter said. By doing so, the costs of production and marketing of the shows would be shifted away from the streaming service, making its financial performance look better, they said. And Ms. McCarthy, the CFO, was said to be concerned about this strategy. The company has lost more than $8.5 billion since Disney Plus launched and has posted bigger operating losses in each of the past 4 quarters. Tyler, there are rumors that the CFO was convinced that Chapek would soon be blaming her for the less than stellar financial results as of late. Is she a hero or an opportunist in this situation?
I think there's more room for middle ground here because, I'm not going to say she is the one and only true hero here. And I also don't think, did it help her out? Of course it did. But I also don't think she did it just for herself. The company was sinking in a different way, and now it's clear that she wasn't the only one that really wanted him out. It's on multiple levels that people were not having this guy, even down to the ground floor where you have like the cast members that never even work with Chapek technically, and they're all in the parks and everything. It's like he was like universally hated. And when you're universally hated, there's something to that. I'm not going to say that she is a hero because obviously she didn't act on her own. I'm also, I don't know if I'd just say opportunist either because she was probably doing what was right for the company. I think we all would agree that, despite what you think about Iger, I mean, the man led the company in a much better light. Just think about the charisma the guy had. Just think about how the cast members thought of him. That's really an important thing to think about because without those things, you see how much hatred there is. Chapek had none of those things. He had no charisma. He did not care about he didn't seemingly care about the cast, and he didn't care about the storytelling. So, I think Chapek can only get out there so many times and put his foot in his mouth until the entire company just says, we got to get rid of this buffoon.
And it's a wonder that it took as long as it did, given how many missteps there were. And when that contract renewal happened earlier this year, I know we were all floored that they had an opportunity there to go a different direction, the board of directors, that is, and they didn't. Basically showing a vow of competence by renewing the contract that, of course, we're going in the right direction. Everybody was pulling their hair out, especially in the fan community. Are you kidding me? How much more needs to be done?
It was crazy.
To prove how bad this is.
Yeah, I mean, there's a certain point where, the board, I'm sure they really can't say disparaging things about Chapek if they don't have a clear idea of what's going to happen next. You know what I'm saying? It can't be they can't just be oh yeah, we got to get this guy out of here, and oh crap, now what do we do? Now I think they had these quick conversations with Iger and they realized, okay, this is our opportunity. We can get Iger back. We got
our fail safe.
Yeah, exactly. So now they have another 2 years
to find
to find their next guy or lady, whoever that may be. And I think you just can't say bad things about Chapek until you have a backup, because that's just going to make the company look even weaker.
Sure. Yeah, it definitely makes financial sense. And the due diligence, though, to renew a contract
for 3
time,
years, at least, like maybe do like another year renewal until you finally find somebody. It kind of seems, I don't know. Give
yourself a window, but don't make it seem like, we're totally satisfied. This guy's great, when you didn't think so to begin with. And Christine McCarthy, the CFO, was a Bob Iger hire, but she has publicly said very disparaging things about Disney consumers, and we've covered that here. What faith do you have in her after allegedly pulling the string that unraveled Bob Chapek?
Oh, man. I mean, we've talked about it before. Like, I mean, just that one line, like, was it last year, I guess she said it? It just, like, blew my mind that, like, might as well just cut the portions of Disney parks foods because because people that go to Disney are overweight, so it'll help their waistlines,
Horrifying.
And I'm like, okay, maybe you shouldn't talk in public, because stick to the numbers. Don't say anything else. I'm sure she's really great at being a CFO. I really hope she's going to do great. I mean, there's rumors that like Chapek was trying to like throw her under the bus on all of this stuff. And so she's trying to like protect herself, which is great, because I feel like in a female in like a corporate society, you are going to be cut and you're always going to get bullied on. And so she was doing the best that she needed to do to like, trim the fat from the company,
Trim that fat.
Trim it. Bring someone else in, leaner and meaner. So I hope that she does well. She's been in like, the finance industry in the banking industry for years, like what, 2 decades or something like that, 20, 30 years. I forgot how long, but she's been in like long time. And then she's been with Disney for what, 15 years. So she's done her best, but I feel like, hopefully she does better now that Iger's back, and without maybe Chapek trying to push her in the wrong direction of trying to, collect money in every single possible form, by trimming, but also like, trimming food portions, increasing prices on pretty much everything, you can think of. Like the food and wine festivals are just ridiculously priced now, and the food isn't even that great because it's just pretty much like pasta, which is like 2 cents.
Yeah, decreasing the quality, right? Decreasing the quality of what's being offered is definitely what everybody's been experiencing here over the last few years. Is that quality has declined to such a dramatic degree as prices have gone up. At some point, something has to give. And a recent back and forth that we all had regarding the value of Disney at the moment, and sort of how everybody has been feeling as though they have been had, I believe was Tyler's words. That is now doing gangbusters over on TikTok. Everybody is sharing this and commenting on it because I think they feel the same way.
Yeah.
It has impacted folks. It has made them feel a certain way because they are too connected to this traumatic decline in the Disney experience. Everybody's feeling it across the board, not just Disney Parks fans, across the board. In all the business units, no matter how you're a consumer of Disney, people are feeling this. And Christine McCarthy, I think there might also be some merit, by the way, going back a little bit, if the rumors are true that she thought she was going to be blamed for the financial matters. And you would blame a CFO, I think. That would come eventually their way. But if she was going to be blamed, that also falls in to what we have seen from Bob Chapek before, and what insiders have reported from the Disney company over the course of time, that Chapek positioned himself multiple times over the years to eliminate people that were directly in front of him, that were standing in the way of him getting to the next level. Hollywood Reporter has done a tremendous series on all of that over the course of the years, of the last few years in particular, eliminating Tom Staggs from consideration, sort of sabotaging him over the course of time, according to the Hollywood Reporter. Also firing Peter Rice, the head of entertainment content for the Disney company most recently, who seemed to be the heir apparent to the CEO throne. He was a threat. Goodbye. So
what does he do?
Yeah,
you know
right?
what I mean? Like, this is like Dateline worthy to like create some kind of like crazy documentary of like what he does, and people to come out and say like the proof.
Yeah,
you know how crazy that would be?
He kicks him into that hole that was in 300, you know?
Oh, jeez.
Chapek plays his own Game of Thrones where he's like, whoever's on top, I'll wait my time. He's like Littlefinger. He's just biding his time until he is in the right position, and then, you know, Game of Thrones, you know, people just keep going, and Chapek's like, I just have to keep moving up slowly. I just have to bide my time, and I'll
Till he got full of himself, and look what happened.
Mm-hmm.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.